Welcome everyone. This is Let's Talk Food. This is the first one we're doing of the year, so happy to have you all join. My name's Casey, and I see some familiar people and some I'm going to meet at different points in time. So welcome. We've got 15 minutes, and we're going to talk a little bit about different ways to use food that you've got prepared ahead of time and kind of get a variety in during your week. So my favorite way to prepare food is to have a combination of fresh ingredients and then those staples in the freezer or the pantry, and then try to always have something that I'm making ahead of time. So depending on what I've got going on that day, I can just quickly assemble things. So this is a combination of some things prepared ahead of time, good fresh ingredients, and a quick assembly. So we'll just jump right in. I'm going to go over the ingredients that I have. And so I've got a fun fact. I'm using my wood cook stove today. I just thought that would be a fun ad for us. So I did start the fire already. It's nice and warm. I've got my pan heating up here, and I've got one of my sweet potatoes that I cooked last night. I was making a frozen pizza, so I popped these in the oven as well. So I'm just heating this up on the back burner here. And the sweet potato is our base. I've got canned black beans. I have two different kinds of onions. I've got yellow and a red. And as you can see, I'm slowly using these throughout the days. And I've got some garlic I'm going to use and half of an avocado. I have cheese. This is a cheddar cheese. You could use any cheese that you like. And I've got my seasonings that I'll go over and some frozen corn and then cilantro that I'm storing in a little bit of water at the bottom in the fridge. That seems to keep it a little more fresh. So I'm going to start. I'm going to put up some olive oil into my pan back here. I like the flavor of olive oil, so I'm going for that today. I don't have this super hot, so olive oil has a lower smoke uh, temperature, so it will work for this today. Avocado oil is another good option. And both of those oils are considered healthy fats. So get some good benefits in there. I'm just gonna roughly chop some onion, and I'm just making enough for 1 can of beans. And I do have 2 cooked sweet potatoes, so I'm going to try and make another one of these for my lunch tomorrow. And then I'll still have some leftovers, I'm sure, of the beans. I'm going to get my garlic chopped up as well. These are kind of my favorite base flavors to work with. And I've got my compost bowl right in front of me, so I'm just cleaning as I go. So this will be a super quick cleanup. And I just want to cook this enough for until the onions are soft. So let those go. And get those soft there. All right, and so as we're letting those get a little more cooked. I did rinse my black beans already. Canned beans tend to have some extra sodium in them, so I just wanted to wash them off to get some of the excess sodium. So while the oil is hot, I also like to put in my seasonings. So today I'm using some cumin, I've got chili powder and paprika, and I buy seasonings in bulk because I go through them so quickly, and then I keep them in little jars so it's easier to use. And I make a lot of vegetables, so seasonings are really important for me. That is a good way to make things taste good. Um, Sometimes we feel like, eating a variety of vegetables or what we kind of consider healthier foods needs to be bland, but I think using seasonings is a really good way to use different fruits, vegetables, proteins, um, and make it fun. All right. So I've got my seasonings roasting in the pan. I am going to put my beans in there and get all those flavors mixed in. And really, I just need to heat up the beans just enough there. All right. I'm going to increase my heat at this point. So I'm just going to pop out another layer. Or actually, I'm going to move this one to the back, a little hotter. On a traditional stove, you can adjust the heat a little easier. Okay, so while that's cooking a little bit more, I'm going to, I just wanted to use what I have, and so these things are optional, but I'm gonna chop up some cabbage, uh, getting some nice purple color into my meal. And that is a fun way to think about what you're eating is trying to get different colors into one dish. I try to look at what I'm about to eat and see if there's anything I can add that would spruce it up. And I'm just going to use this as a little bed for my sweet potato here. So I'll set that to the side. And so instead of beans, you could also swap that for any protein that you have. You could use leftover chicken or beef or tofu, whatever you prefer. Mushrooms would be good. Beans are a good source of fiber. They help lower cholesterol and maintain blood pressure. So I try to incorporate a lot of beans into my diet. But again, you want to be eating what you like and what tastes yummy for you. So, all right. At this point, I'm going to just add my frozen corn. I'm eyeballing it here. Gives another color to the dish, but also a little bit of sweetness and somewhat of a different texture from the beans. And so we'll let those warm up back here. And it looks like I've got a couple minutes, so I'm going to make a quick guacamole. It's a little more fun than just slicing the avocado, and then I could get some flavor in. So I'm gonna get that avocado out. Let me grab a quick fork here. And we'll mash that up. And again, you could use whatever seasonings you like. I have some different like pepper salts. This dish would be good as like a curry flavor or even barbecue. What other ideas do you all have? I'm going to use another piece of garlic because I love garlic. And I won't be talking to anyone closely today, so I'm in the clear. Doing a rough chop there. And I am, just because I have it, I want to use some of this red onion so it doesn't go to waste. So I'm going to use a couple slices of the red onion. And so as I'm making meals, whenever I'm cooking, I'm trying to think ahead, and I'm thinking about tomorrow. I'm thinking about later that day. And so like with these beans that I'll have left over, I'm going to save them for the morning and make a breakfast burrito. And with that, I'll switch it up a little bit. I'll make some eggs and add in anything interesting that I have left over. So it's a good way to use what you have and kind of pass it forward. Sometimes it feels like a burden to constantly be thinking about what we're going to be eating the next day. And so I just wanted to mention also cooking the potatoes ahead of time also has a great health benefit. It increases the resistant starch, which is a type of carb that's found in foods like grains, regular potatoes, beans, corn, oats, that kind of thing. And when you cook them ahead of time and let them cool, the resistant starch, it's a lot easier on our digestion. And also, we don't get that big spike in our blood sugar after our meal. All right, so I'm just going to quickly slice my cheese up here. And you can use shredded cheese if that's more convenient for you. I buy cheese in bulk. Again, it's a staple of mine. So I go through a big brick pretty often. Okay, let's start plating. I'm gonna slice my sweet potato down the side here. Looking good. I also just like to cook the sweet potato ahead of time for that caramelization that happens. It's just really good flavor. I'm gonna put my cheese on first. I'll show you the finished results. I know it's hard to see what I've got going on. So that the cheese melts a little bit here. And let's get my beans. And the onion looks like it's cooked perfectly. And I like to just have this look kind of messy with things on the side. I'm just going to kind of scoop everything together, get a little piece of everything in one bite. Let's get a dollop of my guacamole here. And then I'm going to top it with some of this fresh cilantro. I know not everyone likes fresh cilantro or the flavor of cilantro, but I do. So, all right, we did it. So let me show you how this looks. Hopefully the lighting is okay. Loaded sweet potato. Everything is going to just get all the flavors mixed together. Let me pop into the chat here and see.
Do you
if
want
there's
me to
any.
read them to you, Casey?
Sure, yeah, if
So we've
that's,
got, sorry,
go for it.
we've got a question about where you buy your bulk spices. Where can people find those?
Oh, okay. So I buy them at Indian grocery stores actually. Um, there's a couple in Vermont, but I've got family members in Massachusetts and New York that have bigger Indian grocery stores that I go to, and you can just get bags of different spices, and they're usually a bit cheaper. And you could also find them online and just kind of do a price comparison. I find that when you buy just the little jars, they're a lot more expensive. And it totally depends how much you're going to use. But if there are spices that you use all the time, then trying to buy them in bulk, I think is really a good way to save some money. I also get some bulk spices from Costco, if you're a member there. I'll get some basics there, like garlic and onion powder, curry, turmeric, things like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just to add to that, there are some natural food stores or even some regular grocery stores that have a bulk section. So,
Mhm.
if other places aren't accessible, maybe just keep looking, keep poking into new stores.
Yeah.
Elena has a question. How do you store the big sweet potato if you're preparing ahead of time? And there's
Mm.
another sweet potato question about whether you eat the skin or not.
I do eat the skin. I think it's extra fiber, that why not? But you don't have to. And you could just compost it. Um, but I actually have that extra sweet potato that I baked last night. I just store them. I keep them whole, so I prick them before I roast them. But I keep them whole and I'll just put them in a glass jar. I I think they stay pretty good for several days. And I would say like 3 or 4 days is a nice sweet spot for sweet potatoes. So I'll usually make a couple extra whenever I'm doing some baking.
Awesome. I think that may be all the questions that we have in the chat here.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we have one more of these planned, or actually, sorry, two more planned. We've got one coming up in February, and Sophie will make a fun recipe and talk about some different things than we talked about today. And then we'll have another one in March. So please send us some feedback, or if you have any tips or thoughts or information that you're looking for specifically, please let us know. We're very flexible. We're open to suggestions, and we want to make this engaging and interesting for you all. So feel free to let us know what you're thinking. We'll leave a survey in the chat, and you can fill that out. And I think that's it for today. I've got my lunch. I hope you have a wonderful lunch and stay warm and enjoy different colors in your dishes. See you next time.
Thanks.
See ya.